You accidentally become a Blacksmith NPC in the game, and you can't even leave your own smithy, but you quickly discover the perks of being an NPC. Not only do you keep all the money from selling weapons and gear, you can also issue ridiculously hard quests to mess with players. However, when players think you're just a powerless weakling, you one-shot a world-class boss with a single punch. It all started because on launch day of this revolutionary immersive virtual MMORPG, you gave your character the same name as an NPC, and mysteriously became the starter village blacksmith. Right now you're staring at your character sheet where every stat is just 1, and you're freaking out. Just then, a player named Lone Wanderer runs up to you. Hey, got any quests available? You glance at the quest panel in front of you, and randomly pick one. Go fetch me 5 rabbit pelts. That's it? Lone Wanderer freezes, thinking, what a basic quest. What else do you want then? How about you go kill the village chief, I'll give you something big. That's insane. Lone Wanderer is stunned. Starting this intense in the starter village, killing the chief right away? Do you wish to issue an S-rank quest? Eliminate the Emerald Valley starter village chief? Hearing the system prompt, you're confused too. What the hell? Haha, I was just kidding. Just pretend you didn't hear that. You casually send the shocked Lone Wanderer away. Just then, another player runs up asking to buy a wooden sword. You casually grab one and hand it over. Instantly coins jingle. You discover your previously empty inventory now has 30 copper coins. Holy crap. You know that in this game, 1 copper coin equals $1. Where am I gonna find enough suckers to buy my weapons? You stand at the shop entrance deep in thought, just as you're worrying. Lone Wanderer, who took the quest earlier, returns. Master Mark, I'm back. Here are the 5 rabbit pelts you wanted. You casually give him a broken wooden stick with only 0.5% attack power. As a quest reward, receiving the quest reward, Lone Wanderer is thrilled, especially with that earth-shattering attack power. Master Mark, you don't look so good. Got something on your mind? Don't worry, leave it to me. Lone Wanderer still suspects this NPC is unusual. Buttering him up might unlock special quest rewards. Your eyes dart around, and you say calmly, well, this shop of mine. Business hasn't been great lately. Look at all this fine equipment I can't sell, it's killing me. The other person stammers, your weapons are fine, they're just too expensive. Hearing this, you pause. I only marked them up 10 times. Expensive? Look at this village. Where else will you find better weapons? A mere 30 copper and you complain? Look at this terrifying attack power. Just as he's hesitating whether to buy, you say, just go, you're clearly not destined for this. Hearing destined, he thinks he's triggered a hidden quest, and says he's willing to pay the 30% copper. Of course you think it's not enough. After finally hooking a fish, how can you settle for so little? Tell you what, I'll reluctantly sell you 10. Since you're destined for this, I'll throw in a secret. After he pays, you're ecstatic inside. You open the quest interface and successfully issue a special quest. Deadly Rabbits. Defeat 300 rabbits. Quest reward 3,000 experience points. 300? These aren't ordinary wild rabbits. They're half as tall as a person. You see him hesitating again. You immediately hype him up, saying there's something even bigger waiting after. So he runs off excitedly to kill rabbits. You figure since you're a blacksmith, you should be able to craft equipment. You casually pick up a wooden stick and hit it with a hammer. Crafting successful, experience gained. Surprisingly, it's that simple. You can freely adjust the stick stats within 5 minutes. You max out the attack power to 10 points. After clicking confirm, the broken stick transforms into a deadly wooden rod with a whopping 10 attack power, though the durability is only 1 point. If a regular player carried hundreds of these sticks, they'd be completely invincible in the early game. I'm only charging 1 silver coin for such a powerful stick. Talk about a bargain. Just then, another player arrives. He sees the insane stats on your stick and reaches to pick it up. You slap his hand away. Don't touch if you're not buying. This is worth a whole silver coin, and the durability is just 1 point. If you wear it out, who's gonna pay me? He freezes, thinking, this blacksmith is unusual. Could this be a hidden quest? Being a rich kid, money's no object to him, so he waves his hand grandly. Just 1 silver coin. I'll take however many you've got. Holy crap, a whale. Though you're thrilled inside, you still maintain a serious expression. 40 in total, that'll be 40 silver coins. He pays without hesitation. He even asks when you'll have more stock before leaving. You tell him these are difficult and rare to make, but actually you can make one with a single hammer strike. Just as you're tinkering with crafting equipment, the guy who just bought your sticks is rallying his team to fight a boss, going for first kill. Suddenly a system announcement rings out. Congratulations to Emerald Valley starter village player Duskblade's team for achieving first kill on the region's level 3 boss, Silverfang Wolflord. All team members receive 5 free attribute points. Duskblade? Isn't that the guy who just bought your sticks? You feel ripped off. Should have charged more. Attention all players. It is now 5 p.m. All shops are now closed for the day. What the hell? NPCs in this game clock out at 5 p.m.? These NPCs leave work earlier than I do. Attention all villagers, this is the Emerald Valley starter village chief. Movement restrictions are now lifted. All villagers please come to my place for the daily summary meeting. Clock out then, attend a meeting. That makes sense. I knew it was too good to be true. On the way you run into Rosa, a fellow NPC, and marvel at how detailed the game NPCs are. Arriving at the chief's house, you feel a bit jealous. This chief has been skimming quite a bit. We're both in the starter village. Why is this place so much fancier? The chief drones on up front. Interestingly, they call experience points spirit energy. Evie, the tailor shop owner, reports first. I distributed 97,550 spirit energy today. Shop revenue 13 silver and 40 copper. As agreed, half goes to village development. Here's 6 silver and 70% copper. Hearing you have to hand over half, you panic. You've already sold your silver coins and converted them to over $4,000. But you need to turn in over 20 silver coins. The chief is clearly unsatisfied and tells the tailor to lower prices. Unexpectedly, she immediately protests. I can't. After labor costs, there's hardly any profit. Fine, have it your way. From this, you sense the chief doesn't have that much authority. Everyone takes turns reporting, and finally it's your turn. You say nervously, I distributed 98,810 spirit energy today. Shop revenue, 1 silver and 20 copper. Everyone stares at you in shock. You only made that much in a whole day? You've completely given up. You can't produce that much anyway. Might as well just make up a number. The chief sighs. Your problem is the same as Evie's. Your prices are too high, and you're giving basic weapons as quest rewards. Go back and consider lowering them. Can't lower them one bit. Let me continue reporting. Curiously, No one questions your revenue figures. Seems like you can report whatever. After the meeting, everyone heads home. Back at the smithy, you log off. Unexpectedly, everything goes dark. Your first reaction is feeling hungry, dizzy, and lightheaded. That doesn't make sense. Time-wise, I only played for 3 hours max. Does this game drain that much stamina? You pull out your phone to check the official game forum and find everyone praising it. Everyone says playing the game makes their bodies healthier. You open the game's promotional page and notice a line of fine print. Your attributes in the game will also affect your physical body. Impressive. Game stats affecting real bodies. But right now you just want to scream. Normal players' character sheets start with 100 health points, but as an NPC you only have 1 point. The urgent priority is getting back in the game and raising your stats. You log back in and check. The experience bar is still at 47%. Fortunately, leveling is easy early on. You haul out 100 wooden sticks from storage, grab your hammer and start pounding. 10 plus minutes later, the experience bar fills up. Congratulations, you've leveled up. You've gained 10 free attribute points. You dump all the points into Constitution, finally going from 1 health point to 101. Should be out of life-threatening danger now. Then the system sends a notification. Abnormality detected in your character. System audit in progress, please wait. Due to your character having abnormalities during creation. After system review, you're given 2 options. Option 1, delete this character. You will receive another chance to create a character. Option 2, continue playing as this character but considering its movement restrictions. The system will grant you 2 compensations. You choose option 2 without hesitation. Better to be a special NPC than an ordinary player. Congratulations, player Mark Stone, on successful special class conversion. Compensation 1, movement restrictions lifted. You may move in any area. Compensation 2, we will provide you with a shop assistant to ensure normal shop operations when you're away. The shop assistant from the system is in your mailbox. You configure it to look like yourself and store it in the warehouse for now. Now your health matches that of a new player. Better level up some more quickly. You craft another 100 deadly wooden rods, but the experience bar only fills a quarter. Too slow. You try combining several materials to craft. Skull Crusher Hammer. Crafting successful. Attack power reaches 10 points. And durability is 100 points too. You price this mace that cost 100% copper at 25 silver coins. Talk about a steal. You successfully craft 5 more, raising your level to 3. This time you choose to boost other base stats. Finally, you can log off. This time feels much better. You check the forum for other news. Suddenly you see a prominent title, Hidden Quest Guide, possibly the first to discover it. The poster's ID is Lone Wanderer. Isn't this the guy I tricked into killing 300 rabbits? Let's see what this kid's saying behind my back. I received a hidden quest from Blacksmith Mark in Emerald Valley Starter Village. After a night of grueling combat, I successfully killed 300 rabbits. Blacksmith Mark made me buy 10 weapons before giving the quest. At first I suspected this NPC was scamming me, but later I discovered I was wrong. The durability of these 10 weapons was exactly enough to take down 300 rabbits. So Blacksmith Mark calculated this from the very beginning. Just as I killed the last rabbit, a talking rabbit suddenly appeared and issued a quest, asking me to find out what grudge they have against Blacksmith Mark brothers. Has anyone seen a wild monster give players quests? This is demanding answers from me. I just wanted to make things harder for him. Whatever, I'll deal with it tomorrow. The next day, as soon as you log in, you notice it's noisy outside. Opening the door, you see Lone Wanderer shouting excitedly. Do you really need to be here this early? Before you finish speaking, a crowd of players floods into the shop. You didn't expect. Yesterday's post would attract so many people. Never mind them. You're here to turn in the quest, right? Yes, it's done, Master Mark. Yesterday, while I was hunting rabbits outside the village, a talking rabbit suddenly approached you, right? You casually click quest confirmation and see Lone Wanderer flash with golden light, jumping straight from level 5 to level 7. Lone Wanderer rejoices inside. You put on a mysterious air. Those rabbits are cunning. The quest they gave you is only the first step. Eventually they'll have you kill villagers and your own kind, with the goal of taking over Emerald Valley Starter Village. You wouldn't want future travelers to spawn in a place overrun by rabbit monsters. For humanity's sake, abandon it. Cold sweat breaks out on Lone Wanderer's forehead. The players behind him look equally shocked. Who knew such a terrifying quest existed in a mere starter village? But this quest wasn't easy to get. No need for regret. I'll naturally compensate you. Look here. With a grand gesture, you pull out Eternal Oath. This is the ultimate weapon you forged by randomly hammering a sword and bow together for 18 strikes. Attack power, 0.1%. Special effect, wearing this item reduces attack by 100%. Is this even a weapon? What kind of absurd thing is this? Pure garbage. Lone Wanderer stands frozen. Honestly, at first glance, this weapon is garbage. Second glance, still garbage. No attack power whatsoever. And this price, 99% gold, 99% silver, 99% copper. Description, equipping it ensures no harm between two people, only love. Is this a gift for me? Well, okay then. I'll keep it as a memento. He's about to reach for it. You slap his hand away. Of course it's for you, but I'm not giving you the weapon. I'm giving you this coupon. With this coupon, you can purchase it for 99% silver and 99% copper. Then I don't want it. Can this coupon be resold? You look up and see it's Duskblade, who got the first kill, of course. Though this weapon isn't great, it'd make a nice gift for a girlfriend. I'll buy the coupon for 10 silver. Then a 2-meter giant named Iron Mountain jumps in. With a big smile he says, I'll pay 15 silver. Duskblade isn't backing down. The two start bidding. They bid all the way up to 80 silver. Lone Wanderer's face is about to split from grinning. This is literally free money. Then he notices you sitting with eyes closed, completely indifferent. But what he doesn't know is, you're secretly changing the price of the Skull Crusher hammer. We're out. Duskblade snorts coldly and leaves with his team. Iron Mountain taunts them from behind, then stuffs 80 silver into Lone Wanderer's hand. Master Mark, here's the coupon. So in front of everyone, you erase the 99 gold and have Iron Mountain come trade. Both Iron Mountain and Duskblade are stunned. You ignore the two dumbfounded players and display the Skull Crusher hammer, now priced at 30 silver. Everyone exclaims, "This weapon's solid!" It sells out quickly. You look at the 3 gleaming gold coins in your pouch and the pile of silver and copper coins. You can barely keep a straight face. You pull out over 100 more deadly wooden rods from storage, priced at 1 silver each. People around you shout frantically. Soon even scalpers appear. After a while, the shop quiets down. You notice that Lone Wanderer kid is still in the shop. I'd like to ask you, If there's anything else you need done, you think for a moment, and decide to make use of him. Go collect 300 iron ore for me first. You quickly create the quest and toss it to him. So Lone Wanderer runs off excitedly to mine. Your blacksmith level is now 3. You check the skill panel, and select crafting 2 items simultaneously and equipment enhancement. Enhancement speaks for itself. Trust your luck. How could anyone fail enhancement in a game? You decide to test enhancement first, casually making a deadly wooden rod. You pull up the enhancement panel and find you need another rod. The hammer falls. Deadly wooden rod +1. Attack only increased by 1 point. You continue enhancing, all the way to +5. Attack reaches 25. 5 successes in a row. This is too easy. You swing the hammer again. This time it shatters. Damn, gone completely. Nothing returned. You check the experience bar, almost leveling up again. Enhancement gives good experience. The smithy immediately fills with the sound of frantic hammering. Meanwhile, Lone Wanderer, whom you sent to mine iron ore, is about to lose it. This stuff is so heavy and takes up so much bag space. When issuing the quest, you obviously didn't realize this. Unlike regular players, your bag has unlimited weight capacity. Congratulations, player Mark Stone, on leveling up. You've gained 1 skill point. You put it into 1 in 100 equipment must be masterwork. Meanwhile, the starter village has descended into chaos. Turns out Duskblade and Iron Mountain are fighting over a boss. The situation is absolutely chaotic. I am a miner. My mining skills are strong. Lone Wanderer happily makes his way back to the starter village. Master Mark, I've completed your quest. Here are 300 iron ore. You turn to look. Actually, after issuing this quest, you realize the problem. Regular players can barely move with 20 or 30 ore, yet he actually brought them all back at once. Master Mark, you really kept that secret well. I was wondering how I'd carry so much iron ore. Finally, when I was crushed by the ore and couldn't crawl, I got an item. Reward of Diligence, unlimited weight capacity, 30 bag slots. Reward of Diligence? What kind of luck does this kid have? After sending Lone Wanderer away, you clock out. Then retrieve the shop assistant from storage. Checking its features, upgrading requires 10,000 experience. You bring over materials to test. Crafting time, 30 seconds. Shop assistant gains 1 experience. It'll do for now. You set the autocraft quantity. You close shop and head to the starter village meeting. Today's meeting is exceptionally brief. The chief has Rosa report revenue as usual, then it's your turn. Mark, how did things go today? Time to hand over money again. Though you're unhappy about it, you still pull out a bag of money from your inventory. Used up all 100,000 spirit energy today. Shop earned 42 silver and 40% copper. Here's 21 silver and 20% copper. You push the money forward. Can't help it. With so many people at the shop today, turning in just dozens of copper would be obviously unrealistic. After the meeting ends, you return to the smithy and enter the bedroom. You log off instantly. Emerging from the game pod, you stretch. You've been playing for over 10 hours, but you still feel pretty good. You check your phone messages. Sold 4 gold coins today, due to exchange rate increases. After fees, over $47,000 deposited. Your bank balance now exceeds $120,000. For someone making money grinding in games, this is huge. Based on these 2 days' income, work hard for a month or 2, and you might be able to buy a house in Silver Maple City. The next day when you open the shop, you know it'll be another busy day. There really aren't many people quietly waiting in line outside, because everyone in the back is fighting. Compared to yesterday, today's battles seem even more intense. Iron Mountain and Duskblade stand in the respawn area. They've been online for half an hour now, but many people outside are watching them. They can't leave at all. When Snipe and Clam fight, the fisherman benefits. We've been fighting for a day and night, no point continuing. We can cease fire, but we need to establish some boundaries. Duskblade receives the message, also breaks into a smile. Among Emerald Valley starter village players, the first large-scale war ends. Next comes the shopping frenzy. Master Mark, what else do you have? You're late. This is all that's left. You casually pull out 28 stone weapons. Fine, we'll take them all, both say in unison, simultaneously sending trade requests. 50% copper each. Fair price. You divide the weapons into 2 batches and hand them over. Now for the main event. Before they leave, you quickly pull out 10 stone weapons from storage. Unlike before, this batch consists of +5 enhanced weapons. Holy crap, these are enhanced equipment. Price is right too. 30 silver each, both immediately snap them up. Turning back into the shop, you start developing new products. Blacksmith level has reached 5. You can finally craft some simple armor. 2 minutes later, looking at the ugly iron bucket before you, you fall into deep thought. Defense plus constitution 3, durability 500. Equipment level 5. Nothing special. This bucket with holes does have much higher defense, but it's far from your expectations. Lacks selling points. As you rack your brain, your eyes suddenly light up. Beauty is justice. If you could make this thing look good, doubling the price would be totally reasonable, right? At this moment, Duskblade and Dawnlight enter the starter village. Gray items are worth a few copper. No need to pick those up. Save where you should, spend where you should. Look, the money I casually pick up is enough to buy stuff. Look. Duskblade walks closer to look. A silver mask gleams with metallic luster, covered in thorn patterns, giving the entire mask a sense of wildness and fragmentation. Looking at the stats and price, Duskblade is shocked. Stats are decent, but 1 gold coin? That's robbery. This was originally the bucket mask modified using beauty as justice. Stats actually dropped, but you're satisfied with the result. Honey, 1 gold is too expensive. Before finishing, he notices a dazzling metal crown on her head. Crown of Daybreak, Warlock exclusive. Very affordable at 1 gold. So I told you, why pick up that junk? Stop complaining. I bought the mask for you too. Duskblade accepts the mask with a bitter smile. Somehow spent 2 gold coins. Duskblade vaguely feels like a sucker, but the feeling quickly fades. The 2 of them are very conspicuous on the road. They even run into Iron Mountain at the village entrance, who pauses. Where'd you get those? The smithy. Iron Mountain turns and heads to the smithy. Arriving at the smithy, Iron Mountain doesn't waste time. Master Mark, heard you got new stock? Indeed a few new items. You point to the 4 helmets on the table. Besides the Thorn War Mask and Crown of Daybreak, there's also the Assassin's Phantom Mask and Archer's Nighthawk Vision. Give me 30. 30? You freeze. Over 400,000. You thought Duskblade was sucker enough. Didn't expect there'd be a bigger one. Iron Mountain casually picks one up. Looks at the stats and price. This thing's 1 gold each? This blacksmith's lost his mind. What's wrong? Well, I can't carry that many. Let me buy one first to try. If it's good, until 4:30 p.m. That familiar figure finally appears. Master Mark, is there anything I can help with? Yes, go dig up 500 more iron ore for me. Lone Wanderer smiles, accepts the quest, then immediately turns it in. Instantly 2,000 experience points credited. Need more? Just tell me how much you've got. Another 1,000. You're insane. Suddenly a system announcement sounds. Player Lone Wanderer has reached level 10 first, earned the special title Trailblazer. Since a player in Emerald Valley Starter Village has reached level 10, the Trial Realm system is now activated. Damn, someone's already level 10? Just as the system announces the Trial Realm activation, you receive another message. Attention all villagers, Trial Realm system activated. All villagers have been granted Trial Realm creation privileges. Create your own dungeon? Seeing this message, your brain freezes for a few seconds. Interesting, but not much. All rewards go to players. Wouldn't I be working for nothing? Almost scrolling to the end. A line of fine print reads, please maximize dungeon difficulty. For every 100 cumulative player deaths in the Trial Realm, your lifespan points increase by 1. Death-dropped items also belong to you. Your body trembles with excitement. If the meeting wasn't about to start, you'd dive in to build the dungeon now. You leave the shop and head to the chief's house. As soon as you enter, you see all villagers wearing happy smiles. The appearance of the village's first level 10 traveler is all thanks to you. Everyone applaud. Everyone put in some effort. After all, we all saw the heavenly message. Lifespan is crucial for everyone. You freeze, then realize this might be a stat. 10 minutes later, you painfully hand over 51 silver coins. After the meeting, you return home. You eagerly open the Trial Realm construction interface. Before you can click Start Construction, suddenly a female voice sounds. Mark, you turn to see Rosa. You blink, mind racing. Even you call me widow? It's Rosa. I misspoke. Since those travelers arrived, you haven't come to see me once. Have you fallen for someone else? The crown? People paid for that. Could I refuse? I don't care. Back then I lured rabbits to kill that fool for you. No matter what, you have to be with me. Oh my god. Before you can close the mailbox interface, you feel something soft in your embrace. Then a one-on-one sparring match begins. Finally, after half an hour I concede. You log back into the game. Now the most important thing is, before opening tomorrow, get the dungeon built. You click Start Construction, and work for 9 hours straight. You name it Endless Corridor. Set up the dungeon entrance. Everything's ready. The next day you log in. Sure enough, just like usual, outside is already packed with people. Good morning, Master Mark. Anything I can help with? The harder the better. Nothing I need help with. But seeing how eager you are, I have some information you might find useful. Wait, Master Mark, Father Mark, can you whisper the rest in my ear? After leaving the starter village, head north through the forest. Behind a small waterfall, there's a trial realm called Endless Corridor. Finishing speaking, you look down. No one's there. Meanwhile, Duskblade and the others receive the dungeon teleport notification. They appear directly inside the instance. This place feels kind of creepy, just some spooky atmosphere. I'll take the lead. But after just a few steps, Dawnlight suddenly points overhead and lets out a shriek. The four of them look in the direction she's pointing. They discover a venomous spider has somehow appeared above their heads. Falcon, shoot it down. There seems to be something between us and it. Can't hit it at all, and it doesn't seem able to attack me either. So they end up walking forward with all 5 people staring up at the spider. But after just a few more steps, there's a sudden click. Wait, why is Tyron dead? I literally fell to my death. Back at the smithy, you're watching the dungeon interface. You see a uniquely designed dagger appear on the screen. You immediately take it and put it in your inventory. Looks like they didn't even pass the first trap. I'll watch overhead then. You guys watch your step. Before Duskblade finishes speaking, he suddenly goes flying. His scream fades from near to distant. Finally, after a few seconds, his name turns gray. The remaining 3 snap back to attention and look down. They discover a wild rabbit hiding around the corner. Clearly, Duskblade was just kicked off the edge by it. Who designed this dungeon? What kind of sick mind? Another piece of equipment drops, a common cloth armor. You casually toss it into storage. The 3 remaining players continue forward. Watch out, there's a trap here. Falcon leaps lightly. Then comes a whooshing sound from ahead. An arrow flies right at him. The arrow hits Falcon and knocks him back to where he started. The next second, a trap door opens. Falcon gets sent off. Another one down. You casually retrieve the Nighthawk vision. Without a word, you put it back up for sale. Before long, Duskblade's entire team has been wiped out, and your earnings for the day are quite substantial. You've collected a total of 4,190 pieces of equipment. After a busy day, your blacksmith level reaches 7. You casually open your character panel. You freeze when you see your points. 71 attribute points. So lifespan points are attribute points? With a dark expression, you continue distributing them evenly. You head to the village chief's house for the usual meeting. During the meeting, Rosa keeps winking at you. An hour later, Rosa's face is flushed as she leans against you. Want to know how to trigger this? Kill the Emerald Valley starter village chief and replace him. What a terrifying woman. You log out, you routinely check your account. Balance, 480,000. Nice, pretty generous. Nearly 400,000 in just a few days. You watch a movie while playing on your phone, remembering that your mom's birthday is the day after tomorrow. You casually buy a ticket home. The next morning you enter the game. You store the equipment the shop assistant made into the warehouse. You suddenly remember something. A red dagger appears in your hand. If Blood Edge gets sold like this, Duskblade and the others will definitely recognize it. You frown, thinking, the big spenders in the starter village are all warriors. You can modify the dagger into a longsword. Holding Blood Edge, you walk to the workbench. You pull out an iron longsword from storage. Whatever it turns into, it's getting a hammer either way. Clang, reforging successful. Please select weapon effect. Effect 1, Alpha Wolf. When equipped, increases party members' attack power by 20%. Effect 2, River of Blood. Each attack has a 50% chance to stack 1 layer of bloodstone. Each layer causes the target to lose 1 health per second, stacking up to 5 layers for 6 seconds. Effect 3, Midnight Sword Saint. 300% attack speed at night, negative 50% during the day. Requires 2 hours of daytime wear to charge. You decisively rule out the first 2 options. Your eyes lock onto the 300% attack speed bonus. These stats perfectly suit the 2 whales, Iron Mountain and Duskblade. You decisively choose the third option. When the cold gleaming longsword rests in your palm, you're nearly blinded by its sudden burst of light. This isn't a weapon, it's clearly an LED flashlight. You casually give it a name, Radiant Longsword. 20% attack, 1 attack speed, 500% durability, requires level 10. The Radiant Longsword's 20% attack power is already already eye-catching. But the materials displayed in the enhancement interface are even more shocking. First enhancement requires 39 silver and 50 copper plus iron blocks. Counting on your fingers to the 5th enhancement, your temples throb. It needs over 12 gold, that's 120,000. But if it really gets enhanced to +5, this weapon's attack would reach 50. Based on current basic weapons, it could be used all the way to leaving the starter village. Even after leaving the starter village, it might still be useful in the early stages. You decisively price it at 1 gold coin. Basic level 10 weapons sell for only 1 silver coin. You glance at the time, 8 AM sharp. You put the radiant longsword and other equipment up for sale, time to open for business. But the moment you open the door, you're stunned. Several familiar faces, their levels still stuck at 7. A whole night and not a single level gained. Can you guys take gaming seriously? Duskblade's expression is extremely grim. Iron Mountain beside him is also level 7, but there's no joy on his face. Yesterday he first rushed to level 7, then he joined Lone Wanderer's team, hoping to get first clear rewards. After entering the dungeon, his nightmare began. What should have been a stable run taking 10 to 20 minutes to kill the boss took an hour just to take off half its health. The same situation exists in Duskblade's party. You didn't expect this either. Checking the first clear records, you find that the endless corridor still hasn't been cleared. You turn to see Lone Wanderer at level 8. You open your attribute panel, 100 free points. In one night, these players died 10,000 times in the endless corridor. But that's not your problem. You casually distribute the points evenly. With these whales around, even though they haven't reached level 10, it doesn't affect your business. You cough lightly to get their attention. Deadly Wooden Rod +5 and Radiant Longsword. Check them out. The Radiant Longsword even has special effects. Hey, I haven't finished looking. Duskblade is still reading the special effects when the weapon vanishes into Iron Mountain's inventory. Bro, some things you don't get to browse. He also purchases 100 Deadly Wooden Rods +5. Master Mark, what does this +5 mean? You were wondering how to steer the conversation toward enhancement. Hearing him ask directly, you're delighted. Enhancement level. Hearing that you can indeed enhance equipment, everyone's heart starts racing. Then what materials do I need for you to enhance this? Iron Mountain is very excited. Duskblade and the others' faces instantly darken, although they didn't see the effects clearly. That 20% attack power is real. If enhanced, won't it one-shot everyone? You don't waste words. You have Iron Mountain hand you the weapon, then you pick up the hammer and tap it lightly. 40 silver per attempt. Fair price. I'll do it. Wait, the weapon won't break, will it? There's a chance. How big? Experience it yourself. You honestly don't know. Of course, even if you did, you wouldn't tell Iron Mountain. Iron Mountain hesitates, then grits his teeth. Let's do it. He clicks confirm enhancement. Clang. Enhancement +1. Watching Iron Mountain and the crowd behind him with their tense expressions, you look disgusted. At the same time, you check your inventory. 36 more silver. The system only takes 10%. You originally thought getting 50% would be good. Turns out the system is that generous. Going again? You point at the Radiant Longsword impatiently. The others crane their necks to see what's different. Other people can only see the appearance. They can't tell any difference. But Iron Mountain sees it crystal clear. While other attributes haven't changed much. Most importantly, the attack power increased by 2 points. 40% silver for 2 attack. Worth it. Again, Iron Mountain doesn't even check the price. He directly clicks confirm. Good. Enhancement successful again. A sharp intake of breath. What a terrifying weapon. Second enhancement successful. The Radiant Longsword's attack power has reached 26. This attack is already higher than the Deadly Wooden Rod +5. And that one's a disposable weapon. Going again? You don't want to give him much time to think, as expected. Again. Good. Success continues. Meanwhile, 1 gold and 44 silver enter your pocket. Holy, Iron Mountain's hands are trembling. Looking at the Radiant Longsword with its attack power of 32. This is definitely an Emerald Valley starter village. No, even across the entire region and server. A top-tier weapon. Duskblade and the others look grave. Although they can't see the weapon's changes. From Iron Mountain's expression, they can tell this weapon has reached some god-tier status. Going again? You suddenly bark. Iron Mountain jolts. Again. Bold. You finally crack a smile, giving Iron Mountain a thumbs up. Got to provide that emotional validation. As you finish speaking, the hammer falls. Ha! Success. Iron Mountain sees the weapon is still there. He looks again at the attack power, a full 40 points. His legs go weak, too intense. It's not because of how much money the weapon cost him. The Radiant Longsword's current value can no longer be measured in money. Going again? No more. What? No more? You thought he'd continue. But this guy actually stops. Well, it's fine. 5 gold, 40 silver received. Be content with what you have. Iron Mountain isn't stupid. The higher the enhancement level, the higher the chance the weapon breaks. Roars. You all better watch out when you see me from now on. This is bad. Sincere Heart's expression turns serious. 4 consecutive enhancements. That weapon's attack is probably god tier now. A squishy like me could easily die in one hit. His weapon just has a good base. We can enhance ours too. Duskblade turns and purchases 10 Skullcrusher hammers from you. Master Mark, can this be enhanced? Yes. You nod. Duskblade goes all in. Then he checks the materials needed for enhancement. 1 stone, 5 wood. Pretty cheap. He directly pulls out 2 gold and buys a pile of stones and wood from you proportionally. You pick up the hammer and start hammering away. Duskblade frantically clicks confirm on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bang. Shattered. Again. Shattered again. Half an hour later, all 10 Skullcrusher hammers have long been destroyed. He then buys 20 more, but the one before him is already the last. Looking at the finally +7 Skullcrusher hammer, Duskblade roars loudly. 30 hammers for just 1 +7. This is way too hard. But at least the weapon's attributes are decent. 38 attack should barely be enough. Materials and weapons cost him 11 gold total. At today's exchange rate, that's 100,000. Sincere Heart and the others, seeing the terrifying post-enhancement effects, also take out their weapons. But from the earlier situation they can tell, the risk is relatively small before +5. So they each enhance to +5 and stop. This time we'll definitely get first clear. Duskblade is full of confidence. He tells Sincere Heart to rush to the endless corridor dungeon entrance. Iron Mountain also realizes the problem is serious. Alright, let's go. We're going too. You watch them leave. A morning of selling equipment plus enhancements earned you over 23% gold. The exchange rate seems to be trending downward. You quickly sell the game currency. You're going home today. Checking inventory, the shop has enough stock. But since you're free anyway, you hammer away. An hour passes. Suddenly, a system announcement sounds in your ear. Congratulations to players Big Bear, Iron Bear, and Shadow Bear for completing the first clear of Endless Corridor. You can't help but burst out laughing at those names. All these people buying equipment and enhancing, and the first clear gets snatched by some no-name team. Right now, the two whale teams hear that the dungeon they spent fortunes on was cleared by an unknown 5-bear team. Inside the first clear dungeon, Iron Mountain freezes. Where did these bears come from? He immediately disengages from combat and leads the team out. He sees the dungeon entrance packed with people. The 5-bear brothers are surrounded by a crowd. Big Bear stands proudly in the crowd. Seeing Iron Mountain emerge, he taunts. Gaming is about skill and brains, about team coordination, not about paying to win with equipment. The crowd immediately cheers. Go kill him. Iron Mountain's face darkens. He trades the radiant longsword to Alpha beside him. Alpha immediately equips it and pushes into the crowd. A few seconds later, a -371 pops up in the crowd. Big Bear instantly returns to the respawn point. The surrounding players immediately fall silent. At this moment in the smithy, with a clang, you take a deep breath. Finally, level 9. You continue adding skill points to Miracle Touch. The skill reaches level 5. The skill effect changes from 1 quality item per 100 to 1 per 20. After closing the shop, you head to the meeting as usual. While exchanging glances with Rosa, you hand over today's payment. 1 gold, 30 silver. Very good, very good. Young Mark is working hard. Come, move closer. The village chief is very satisfied. You originally didn't plan to pay that much. But remembering Rosa mentioned system rewards, you're somewhat curious. After the meeting, you decline Rosa's invitation to visit her place. The day after tomorrow, you're going home. It's also the first time leaving the shop to the shop assistant. Can't have any mistakes. Level 5 weapons and equipment are in high demand right now. 1,000 pieces should be enough. Level 7, 3,000 pieces. For level 10 weapons, you prepared 1,000 before. Definitely not enough. Now the dungeon has dropped, so buyers probably won't be too many. To be safe, better prepare more. You simply set the prices. Then you change the shop assistant's management mode, from semi-automated to fully automated, making more weapons to push for level 10 tonight. The smithy once again fills with frenzied hammering. Early the next morning, you groggily get up from the gaming pod. This thing is pretty comfortable as a bed even without playing. Yawning, you wash up, you log back in. Last night you did reach level 10 and unlocked level 15 weapons and equipment. You prepare some level 15 equipment. Suddenly, you notice a new option in the skill bar. Repair Mastery. Restores 50% of equipment durability. You were curious before about why you couldn't repair. Turns out you just weren't high enough level. After more work, by the time you log off it's past 3 a.m. You were pretty alert before, but after sleeping 3 hours, you wake up exhausted. Play all night feeling energized, sleep once, and wake up like a zombie. Does this make sense? But whether it makes sense or not, you should head home. You pack briefly and bring your mom's gift. Your bank balance has surged to 730,000. Your family's financial situation is average. Your father is the town carpenter. Your mother stays home washing and cooking. After arriving home, you give your mom a large gold bracelet as a birthday gift. Then with a wave of your hand, you buy your dad an SUV. Seeing your parents' happy expressions, you feel this is the meaning of making money. A night passes. Early the next morning, your dad has dark circles under his eyes. He cheerfully drives you to the train station. Too excited last night, he inevitably couldn't sleep. Look at this car. Son, so much power, so much space. We should take it on a road trip sometime. You go along with it, making your dad's smile nearly split his face. Arriving at your apartment, you quickly log in, not sure how the smithy fared under the shop assistant's management. After logging in, you find everything seems normal. Compared to before, it seems a bit lively outside today. You direct the shop assistant to come in. You check his inventory while you're at it. Whoa, in just one day, all the level 10 and 7 equipment sold out, even the level 5 stuff sold out. What happened? Business suddenly got this good? Looking at the 61 gold in the shop assistant's inventory, you're stunned. You head to the shop entrance. Instantly, you understand why everything sold out. Because Emerald Valley Starter Village's second Alta Village War has broken out, but you don't know what caused it. Checking the exchange rate, game currency has been dropping. Today it's at 1 to 0.6, and it's still trending downward. You quickly list the game currency. 10 minutes later, 366,000 arrives. Not bad. Made back the money for dad's car in one day. Opening the character panel again, although the Endless Corridor first clear is gone. Many are still attempting. You didn't check when logging off 2 days ago, plus yesterday. Over 8,000 more deaths in the dungeon. Converting to attribute points, that's 80%. Adding the 30 attribute points from level 7 to 10, you put all 110 points into health. Because you learned an important piece of information. Other starter villages have people organizing to hunt NPCs. 1,500 health. This number would make any current tank feel inadequate. But for you, it's still not quite enough. Killing NPCs is usually a group effort. You want to survive. Only by surviving do you have a future. Some players see the smithy has equipment for sale again. They casually buy a few pieces. Though curious, you don't feel comfortable asking. Hammering away all afternoon, you sell quite a bit of equipment sporadically. Until sunset, you finally see a familiar figure, Lone Wanderer. You check his level 12. Seems this guy stayed out of it. Master Mark, I'm here to turn in a quest. Lone Wanderer is the same as always. He takes out 5 dark iron ore. The dark iron quest was set up before you left. The shop assistant treats all players equally. Only 5 can be turned in at a time. But since you're back in person, bring out whatever you have. Lone Wanderer freezes, then breaks into a brilliant smile. Master Mark, I've been waiting for you to say that. I have 1,495 more. Impressive. You mentally give him a thumbs up and issue the quest. Lone Wanderer instantly levels up to 13. Then the two of you stare at each other. Master Mark, is there another quest? Or something you want to say? Lone Wanderer looks expectant. There is, just don't know how to ask. Your brain races. Then you suddenly turn serious. What do you think of the current situation? Why is a blacksmith asking about this? Lone Wanderer freezes for a second. Are you curious about what's happening outside? Lone Wanderer looks at you puzzled. Then seeing your stiff expression, you could just say so directly. They're still fighting over loot drops. Not done yet. I glance when passing by. Currently, the Dusk Mountain Alliance is at a disadvantage. Worried you won't understand, he adds. The Dusk Mountain Alliance is the alliance between Iron Mountain and Duskblade. Hearing this, you're stunned. Iron Mountain and Duskblade? Why did they form an alliance? What exactly happened in the past day? Turns out the whale teams of Iron Mountain and Duskblade had friction with casual players over loot drops. It then escalated into a massive battle between two major factions. But for you, this is a money-making opportunity. You swing the hammer so hard it nearly sparks. Weapons are still in short supply. Until evening when you close the shop, you collapse in your chair. Several continuous hours of intense crafting and selling has tired you out. But seeing the game currency constantly increasing in your inventory, you can't bear to stop. But before that, you still need to go to the village chief's house for the meeting. Today's meeting is nothing special. Facing the situation with the players outside, these villagers' attitude is the same as before. They don't care. After paying 1 gold coin, you march back to the smithy with determination. Come on, no matter how long you fight, I'll keep the weapons and equipment coming. 2 days later, you repeat the motions in your hands with vacant eyes. These past 2 days, you've lost count of how much equipment you've made. Your blacksmith level has reached 12. You've certainly made good money. 82 gold earned in the past 2 days. Today's exchange rate is 1 to 0.5%. You cash out over 400,000. Looking at the cold 1.2 million in your bank account, you have the motivation to keep hammering. Everyone is busy except Lone Wanderer. This guy comes to you every day for quests, gathering various wood, stone, and iron ore. He occasionally returns to update you on the battle situation outside. Just now, Lone Wanderer reached level 17, because you've been deliberately feeding Lone Wanderer massive amounts of experience. As players become more proficient with the dungeon, fewer are attempting the endless corridor. Opening a new dungeon is the only option. You find time to log off and check the forums. Someone has posted a guide. As long as one player reaches level 18, that starter village will unlock the 30-player dungeon. You're not sure who creates this dungeon. From the guide, there seems to be only one 30-player dungeon, but at least it's something to look forward to. The next second, a system announcement sounds. Player Clear Sky has been the first to reach level 18, earning the special title Trailblazer. Receives 10 attribute points. Receives gold coin reward. Since a player in Emerald Valley Starter Village has reached level 18, the 30-player dungeon Void Realm will open in 1 day. But after waiting a while, you receive no system message. Does this 30-player dungeon not require NPC involvement? You're somewhat disappointed. But today's meeting still needs to happen. You leisurely head to the village chief's house and find everyone already there. Still the familiar opening. Fellow villagers, thank you for your hard work today. The village chief still wears a beaming smile. But the villagers below are avoiding eye contact for some reason, as if afraid the chief will notice them. What's going on? You're confused. You find your seat and sit down. Today is a good day for our village. You've all heard, someone has triggered the Void Realm's secret realm, so today's meeting priority is to finalize this matter. Upon hearing this, some lower their heads, others look toward the door. Something's wrong. Although these are NPCs, they're all sharp. Don't be like this, everyone. It's all for the village's development. The gods entrusting us with building the Void Realm shows their trust in us. I'll do it. You stand up. Good. Young Mark has courage. Then this task is yours. The village chief was originally worried. Seeing someone willing to take it, he immediately pulls out an envelope from his clothes and hands it to you. Then, as if afraid you'll regret it, he quickly says you can leave the meeting early and exempts you from the next year's village construction fees. What's going on? Why give you all this out of nowhere? You open the envelope. Before you can grasp the paper inside, a beam of light enters your forehead. Instantly, a dungeon construction interface appears before your eyes. You glance roughly at the interface. Not much different from the previous level 10 dungeon. Strange. However, since you're allowed to leave early, you don't stand on ceremony. You turn and leave. After Mark leaves, Rosa had been keeping her head down. Hearing you took this task, before she can speak to stop you, the chief has already completed the handover. It's over. Rosa's eyes lose focus. Chief, about the Void Realm matter, does young Mark not know? A villager waits until you're far away before asking with a complicated expression. Impossible. I mentioned this before anyone arrived. Such an important matter, he definitely knows. Then why did he accept? Isn't it for our village? The chief turns with furious eyes. Look at you all, only thinking of yourselves. Only young Mark truly considers the village. Regarding the previous house repairs, you don't need to approach me privately. This spot goes to young Mark. Consider it some compensation from the village. And this month's divine protection also goes to him. From now on, don't disturb him. Have the guards put up a sign at the smithy. The smithy is closed tomorrow. Returning to the smithy, you take a deep breath. It's just building a dungeon. Why is everyone being so mysterious? You don't understand why those NPCs were so reluctant. But the system hasn't sent you any reward or penalty notifications. Probably not a big problem. You open the Void Realm construction interface. Number of realms you can create, 1. Number of realm structures you can place, 4,000. Props and monsters placement points, 20,000. Realm experience reward, 5,000. Loot drops can still be freely selected. Among them is a special item called Masquerade Mask. Using this item allows you to change your ID and hide all attributes. Cooldown, 30 days. If you can get this, leaving the starter village later will be much more convenient. You check the other drops. Guild Charter. An 18-level dungeon actually allows this to drop. But even if you get it, you'll just resell it. Checking the monster catalog, a few new ones were added. You continue scrolling down. A line of small text catches your attention. Please control dungeon difficulty. For every 10 cumulative player deaths in the realm, your lifespan points increase by 1. Player deaths in this dungeon have no experience penalty. Death drops of equipment and inventory items belong to the builder. 10 players for 1 attribute point. I can get this incredible reward? But wait, something's wrong. With rewards like this, why weren't those NPCs fighting over it? Instead, they avoided it like the plague. You realize there's probably a big catch here. You look down further. Dungeon construction countdown, 23 hours, 27 minutes, 31 seconds. If you fail to complete construction and pass review within the time limit, 1 lifespan point will be deducted per second. You freeze instantly. 1 point per second. You finally understand why those NPCs didn't want this terrible job. Lifespan points are attribute points to you, but to those NPCs they might actually be lifespan. Based on the endless corridor experience, the level 10 dungeon took you about 8 or 9 hours. But that dungeon's scale, numerically speaking, is only about 1/40th or 1/50th of the Void Realm. By this calculation, there's definitely not enough time. so this dungeon can't possibly be completed within this time frame. But if it's not completed, all attribute points get wiped. What will happen to me then? The next day, the official game forum explodes. Many starter village NPCs have mysteriously disappeared. At this moment, a group of NPCs at the village chief's house look grave. The Void Realm construction time has passed 24 hours, but there hasn't even been a system announcement. Could something have gone wrong? But at this moment, a system announcement suddenly sounds. Emerald Valley Starter Village Dungeon Void Realm is now open. Simultaneously, all players' quest logs automatically accept a quest that cannot be cancelled. Please proceed to Void Realm to defeat the boss, Void Lord. At this moment, you're of course still alive, just not in great condition. Although your level is 14, all your attributes have become 1. Even your available points have become negative 274. You're furious and cursing, but complaints aside, these points don't concern you for now. In Void Realm, every 10 player deaths earns you 1 attribute point. 200 to 300 attribute points mean about 3,000 lives. If the Endless Corridor peels off a layer of skin, this Void Realm dungeon extracts your bones. Actually, you finished building the dungeon within the time limit. But even if the attribute points deduct into negative numbers, you still can't get out immediately. Only at the end do you discover. The dungeon requires placing a key item, the Portal Crystal. Only when this item is brought out of the dungeon and activates the village teleportation array can all players travel to the Stellar Plains. Soon a large group of players rushes to the entrance of the Void Realm dungeon. Duskblade chats with Iron Mountain at the dungeon entrance. The dungeon has a 30-player limit. We formed 21 teams total. What about you? About one more team than you? Then let's settle this fair and square. Iron Mountain nods, then leads his group into the dungeon first. The moment the dungeon opened, both of them saw the loot list, noticed the guild charter, and their breathing quickened. Right now, they're just pretending to be calm. After entering the dungeon, Duskblade pulls out a weapon from his backpack, none other than the Radiant Longsword dropped by Iron Mountain. The damage output with this weapon is absolutely explosive, but his smile freezes after just a few seconds. This style, this map, could this dungeon have been made by the same person who created the Endless Corridor? Upon entering the dungeon, the first thing that appears before everyone is a familiar corridor. Unlike the Endless Corridor with its red drapes and festive characters, this place is completely bare. It's not that you didn't want to add horror elements, there simply wasn't enough time. Everyone wait. I'm familiar with this style. Be extremely careful moving forward. Duskblade's expression turns serious. The originally dim corridor, under the illumination of the Radiant Longsword, reveals every detail clearly to everyone. But as soon as the words leave his mouth, scattered sounds suddenly emerge from the surroundings. Monsters, or did we trigger some trap? The already tense group immediately scans the area. The next second, a thunderous boom. Everyone suddenly feels the ground disappear beneath their feet. Duskblade reacts lightning fast, hurriedly putting the Radiant Longsword into his backpack while airborne. The next second, the scene changes. All 30 players appear neatly outside the Emerald Valley Starter Village respawn point. Because there are simply too many people inside, there's no room left to stand. Even the Radiant Longsword that Duskblade put in his backpack drops out. Eventually, someone analyzes that the entire corridor must have collapsed. To clear this section, players must pass through in extremely short time. 10 minutes later, Sincere Heart returns to the respawn point with a dark expression. On the second attempt, everyone follows orders and runs forward. He has the fastest movement speed, running at the front. Then the familiar trap appears, and he falls again. You really couldn't resist this one. You hadn't planned to place it. But after placing the portal crystal, you saw some points remaining, and following the principle of not wasting anything, accidentally added one. After Sincere Heart falls, the people behind him all avoid it. With only one team wipe, they clear the first section. Duskblade is quite satisfied. Iron Bear, standing up ahead, doesn't look so pleased. I'm afraid the corridor wasn't even a proper section, he says, pointing downward. Hearing this, Duskblade takes 2 steps forward and sees a staircase leading down. At the bottom is a massive hexagonal platform, with each corner extending into a long corridor, and at the end of each of the 6 corridors is a huge room. Looking at the 6 rooms below, if I'm not mistaken, there should be 6 bosses, being able to see all the boss locations at a glance. Duskblade already feels fortunate. Let's hope so. Iron Bear descends with a serious expression. Oh wow, over 400 attribute points credited already. While crafting equipment, you open the dungeon interface to take a look. You discover that within just half an hour in the Void Realm, over 4,000 players have died, and the interface shows an endless stream of equipment, potions, and materials. Tossing all the dropped items into storage, the returns are pretty good. Satisfied, you open your character panel and start allocating points. After allocating points, although it's still not quite back to where it was, this is just the beginning after all. Checking the time, you log off to rest. Meanwhile, inside the dungeon, Duskblade and his team are still grinding through the dungeon all night. A few hours ago, after Sincere Heart rejoined the team, all 30 descended the stairs. There are 6 rooms here. Let's just pick one to start with. Iron Bear leads the way toward one direction. Gently pushing open the boss room door, they find the arena quite spacious. The boss inside is the level 18 Twin Venomtail Beast. The Twin Venomtail Beast isn't a single boss, but 2, one yin and one yang, one male and one female. But why is there only one? Where's the other one? Because with Twin Venomtail Beasts, you must kill both together, and you need to control their health. When their health drops to 80%, they release Venom Sting. If hit players don't remove the toxin detonation status within 20 seconds, they'll explode. The way to remove it is, the 2 marked players from yin and yang must collide. Duskblade has an ominous feeling. After searching around without finding anything, they run through all the rooms. Half an hour later, after reorganizing the team, to summarize, there are 3 pairs of Twin Venomtail Beasts, 3 males and 3 females placed in these 6 rooms. Without using skills, these bosses don't deal much damage. The 30 players are divided into 6 teams. Each team handles 1 Venomtail Beast. Once the boss health drops to 80%, 6 of us will get hit with toxin detonation. These 6 people need to run to the central hexagonal hall within 20 seconds, find their corresponding partner, and collide to remove toxin detonation. But the traps along the way will slow movement speed. Besides that, there's one more thing. To help players distinguish which 2 Venomtail Beasts are paired, when Venom Sting triggers, a question appears above the boss's head. Based on the answer, you can find which boss corresponds. For example, 80.3%. This time, it's Sincere Heart. Get ready. I'm ready. Realizing the boss is looking at him, Sincere Heart's expression turns serious. The next second, the question appears. The Royal Jade Wine minus 2 hammer strikes, divided by 4, then minus 1 equals what? Royal Jade Wine? Sincere Heart chuckles. Iron Bear immediately panics and starts running, calculating while moving. 180 minus, a hammer strike is 80. Holy crap, crossbow bolts? Wait, where was I in the calculation? Boom. A thunderous explosion and all 30 players instantly die. After team wipes, Duskblade can't stand watching anymore. Why doesn't it pick me? My movement speed may not be as fast as his, but my brain works better. How can he get such a simple question wrong? So they try again. Guild leader watched the question carefully. Finally, it's my turn. Duskblade's face fills with anticipation. A bookstore sells 15 books at $8 each, and then buys back 5 books at $6 each. What is the store's net profit from this transaction? What the hell? Why is it suddenly in foreign language? Already respawning, Duskblade and his team curse furiously. Meanwhile, you, the mastermind behind all this, open the official forums and scroll through briefly. Each starter village has different progress. Some starter villages have already cleared the 30-player dungeon and obtained the portal crystal, preparing to travel to the stellar plains in a few hours. You also plan to check the clear rate of the dungeon you built. Logging into the game, you immediately open your character panel. Looking at the 1,791 attribute points, you're not particularly satisfied. With so many people in the starter village, if they all seriously grind inside, these few hours should have brought you at least 3,000 attribute points. You continue frantically adding constitution. After allocation, you have nearly 20,000 health, finally giving you a slight sense of security. But you don't know that at this moment inside the game pod. Your body is undergoing earth-shattering changes. You check the time, open the door, and prepare for business. Master Mark, you finally decided to open. My savior, I only close for 1 day. Does everyone miss me this much? Casually handing over the pile of equipment the other person wants. Compared to before, today's equipment sales speed is several times faster than usual. Watching a warrior holding 7 or 8 staves, running off cheerfully, then sitting by the roadside with an expectant look, seemingly waiting for something. After selling 3,000 pieces of equipment, you look at the storage still piled high with inventory. You can roughly guess what those players lined up in front of you are thinking. Nothing more than waiting for your equipment to sell out so they can resell it. These folks are going to be disappointed today. The amount of equipment recovered from the dungeon is already insane. Plus you rush to craft a large batch for leveling. 2 hours later, outside the smithy, everyone leaves satisfied with their equipment, leaving a row of scalpers by the roadside staring at each other blankly. You look at the additional 210 gold in your backpack. Today's exchange rate is 1 to 0.2%, which is over 400,000. There's a sense that this money reeks of financial ruin. Hammering and crafting all day, closing time soon arrives. At this point, your level has reached 19. Opening your character panel. In the 9 hours from opening to closing, you gained a total of 2,304 attribute points, stacking health to an absurd 30,000, yet you're still not satisfied. Feeling you lack some attack power, you add some other attributes. As for skills, this is currently your biggest weakness. Your basic attacks now deal about the same damage as player skills. Of course, they have cooldowns, you don't. Skills, where can I learn some skills? Maybe I should sneak over to chat with the warrior trainer Iron Fist Grey tonight. But would he teach me? You wonder. Seeing that it's time for the meeting. Although the village chief previously said, you don't need to pay anymore. You still need to attend meetings. Little Mark, you're here. The village chief feels awkward seeing you. In his view, although this person looks like Mark Stone, it's almost certain this person is a puppet, according to ancient records. If the builder of the required space fails to complete it on time, they'll be kept inside as a dungeon boss. For the starter village to function normally, the deity dispatches a puppet to replace their role, and this person standing before him is probably the deity's puppet. Soon all the villagers arrive, but none dare to look at you. Even Rosa only steals a glance at you. Though you feel somewhat strange, you say nothing. With everyone silent, the meeting naturally becomes much shorter. When it comes to the payment section, you simply stand up and leave. After you're gone, the scene erupts. The deity is truly omnipotent. This replacement looks exactly like Mark Stone, and it even seems to have Mark Stone's memories they're naturally referring to. The village chiefs promise that you don't need to pay for a year. Returning to the smithy, you tidy up the storage briefly, taking out the radiant longsword again. Aesthetics mastery is already level 4. Making a gorgeous piece of equipment shouldn't be a problem. The goal is also clear. For Dawn Light, this item's attributes can't be too poor. At least it needs to be useful within level 20. I'll make this equipment my career's masterpiece. As for the price, while it'll be sky high, the prerequisite is making people feel it's worth it. Inside the Void Realm, Duskblade and others sit on the ground getting beaten. Over the past day, after several team wipes, they finally understood that calculating while running and dodging skills simply doesn't work. An hour later, under Iron Bear's command, everyone stands up. This time we'll clear it for sure. At this moment, Iron Mountain's team has already beaten Duskblade, clearing the final 1%. Watching the boss finally fall, Alpha roars with excitement. An entire day. All sorts of dazzling questions appearing randomly. This time it's also due to good luck. The questions that appeared were all ones they'd seen before. Open the chest. Iron Mountain rushes quickly to the chest. Holy crap. Seeing the equipment inside, everyone gasps in amazement. A full 7 pieces of equipment, 1 material and 1 item. Though this dungeon is torturous to clear, the rewards are genuinely good. This is a set piece, Intimate Bond Top and Bracers. Alpha looks at the equipment name prefix, Intimate Bond Top and Bracers. But seeing the set effect, his expression turns strange. Intimate Bond Set. When players maintain physical intimate contact, all attributes increase by 50%. This effect persists until 5 levels above the boss level. The Twin Venomtail Beast is level 18, meaning this set effect works until level 24. A 50% increase to all attributes is incredibly overpowered, but the trigger condition seems even more absurd. Guild leader, I checked. Although there are 7 pieces of equipment, only 2 can be used for now. Should I go out and ask around after the other brothers clear it? To gather a set for you? Alright. Remember to gather 2 sets, 1 for you to wear. Iron Mountain feels somewhat helpless. Their team is all rough guys, can only pick the tallest among the short. I'll wear it. The Intimate Bond set is female clothing, but he doesn't mind that. The key issue is what does maintain physical intimate contact even mean? But that's all for later. Taking everything from the chest, including the 7 pieces of equipment. A Venomtail Beast Poison Stinger. Masquerade Mask. This is actually a good item. Good for ambushing people. Iron Mountain glances at the item description and casually puts everything into his backpack. I'll go out first and give these items to Lone Wanderer. When I come back, we'll go to the second boss. But before Iron Mountain can finish speaking, the entire dungeon suddenly starts shaking. Iron Mountain looks up, discovering that somehow the 6 boss rooms have risen high into the air. Then 6 more rooms emerge from below. With a dull thud, the new 6 rooms connect with the 6 corridors. More? The little joy from defeating the first boss vanishes almost instantly. All sorts of chaotic questions flood Iron Mountain's mind, surging up instantly. Boss, something seems off. Alpha remains very calm, turning to look at the 6 doors slowly opening in the distance. The buzzing sound from inside gives him an ominous feeling. At this moment, you just woke up in the game pod. Grabbing your phone from the table, you head to the bathroom. Checking your bank account, the balance has reached nearly 2.7 million. With quite a bit of money on hand now, maybe you can buy a house. But before considering buying a house, you stare blankly at yourself in the mirror. Your originally thin frame has actually grown a size larger overnight. At this moment, looking at your body like a demonic muscleman, you're shocked. You didn't expect that game attributes would actually affect reality. But why didn't it change before? Could it be that the total points need to reach a certain threshold? Whatever, I'll know if I go back and test it. You quickly log into the game, watching the death count in the Void Realm still climbing crazily. Among the dropped items, there are already several pieces of equipment from the twin Venomtail beast. But you have no mind to care about these right now. Opening your character panel. In just a few hours, thousands of players provided you with another 2,154 attribute points. You try adding 1,000 strength points and log off again. Opening your eyes. You realize your body has undergone massive changes again. Carefully stepping out of the game pod, you're afraid that moving too much might kick the pod apart. Gently picking up the water glass on the table, then applying force. Bang. The glass instantly shatters. I understand now. It seems that when a certain attribute reaches 1,000 points, the body in reality receives a substantial enhancement. But my constitution is already at 4,000, yet it's only changed once. Could it still require higher values? And if the game has this effect, I can prepare 2 game pods for my parents. Consider it health maintenance. Entering the game again, taking the items dropped from the dungeon, and organizing them. Seeing the masquerade mask, you're startled. Although you set this item on the first boss, the drop rate isn't high. Didn't expect it to drop so quickly. In the dungeon's second section, you set up a large number of Crimson Swift Wings. Due to insufficient time creating the dungeon, you could only use a quantity over quality approach. In the first wave of attacks, Iron Mountain and his group instantly died. Others luckily dodged a few, but even those who lasted longest didn't survive the 4th wave. So this masquerade mask also dropped. Duskblade's group encountered the same problem, just when Sincere Heart and the others were frowning with worry. Duskblade went out earlier and returned with a happy face, saying he went to find external help. Everyone asked about the situation with the external help. Do you remember who first reached level 18 in our area? Someone called Clear Sky. It's him. He just levels fast. We also have level 19 players in our team. Does one level higher matter that much? He's more than just high level. He's here right now. A man with a cold expression walks before everyone, holding a spear in his hand. Let me introduce. This is Clear Sky, Hidden Class Spearmaster. Hidden Class? Everyone in the team stares blankly at Clear Sky. The starter village has this? Clear Sky nods slightly at everyone, walks forward and observes the 6 doors around, then turns to look at Duskblade. No big problem. It can be solved. I can briefly explain the current situation. No need. I've killed Crimson Swift Wings before. Then your weapon. Duskblade carefully points at the spear. This weapon doesn't seem to exist in NPC shops. This dungeon even drops items from your backpack. Is your weapon okay? Clear Sky doesn't mind and directly shares the weapon details with Duskblade. Gale Lance, attack 30, attack speed 1, durability unknown. Evolving weapon, cannot drop, cannot break, cannot drop. Then there's no problem. As for cannot break, this point gives Duskblade a headache. Coming to help clear the dungeon, Clear Sky made one request, for him to pay to enhance this weapon. Duskblade starts worrying about his wallet. Normal weapons shatter when enhancement fails, but cannot break? Could it mean enhancing it continuously? Thinking this, he even hopes your hammer could be more decisive and smash the spear in a few strikes. But before that, since everyone's here, let's begin. Walking to the center of the area, Clear Sky speaks. You and your friends should all stand together. Stand together? Won't we get pinned down by 40 or 50 moths? The group doesn't understand why Clear Sky arranged it this way. Does he think we're too weak and getting in the way? But out of respect for the hidden class, they obediently stand together, turning to see the Crimson Swift Wings already attacking nearby. Each person immediately becomes alert. All 5 of you, don't move. Clear Sky gives a light shout, front hand like a guide, back hand like a lock. A crushing spear strike with lightning speed directly smashes into the leading moth. Holy crap, what a beast. Duskblade and the others' eyes widen instantly. The Crimson Swift Wings move at terrifying speed. Previously, the archers in the team couldn't hit them, or rather, even the arrows they shot couldn't catch up to the moths. This guy casually strikes and smashes a moth to the ground. But with 6 people standing together, the moths swarming over are definitely more than one. The next second, over 50 moths swarm and charge. Clear Sky's gaze sharpens. Gripping the spear shaft with both hands, he swiftly dances, the spear spinning rapidly. The speed creates a barrier. With a series of dense collision sounds, the swarm of moths stalls upon hitting the barrier, damage numbers popping up on them. Is this how the game is played? In comparison, Duskblade feels like he's disabled, completely blocking the first wave of attacks. Seeing the Crimson Swift Wings about to retreat and regroup, Clear Sky changes his movement, thrusting his spear, directly piercing through 3 moths. This strike is clean and decisive. The 3 moths instantly die. We've got this. This person is definitely not an ordinary player. Sincere Heart excitedly whispers to Duskblade. Thus the second wave, the third wave, Clear Sky's movements don't slow down at all, even becoming more skilled. Watching the Crimson Swift Wings slowly decrease in number, Duskblade finally sees hope of clearing. But the good times don't last. On the 6th wave, they ultimately wipe. The reason is simple. Other teammates can't hold on. Fighting over 50 moths is already Clear Sky's limit. Once teammates die, those moths without targets find other people. When the number reaches 80, even Clear Sky falls. Once again, sent back to the respawn point. Based on the time, the NPC should be open for business. Let's go. Duskblade leads the way toward the smithy. To clear faster, he decides to help Clear Sky enhance his weapon first. So the group arrives at the smithy entrance. Master Mark, my friend wants to enhance a weapon. Enhance a weapon? You walk out of the smithy. Seeing Clear Sky, you pause. A spear? Then you reach out to take the weapon, opening the panel to take a look, then looking up at Duskblade. You're paying? That's right. Help me enhance this weapon to +5. After speaking, he glances at Clear Sky. Seeing Clear Sky nod, he immediately feels relieved. Confirm +5? You glance at the enhancement price. Confirmed. Then pay up. 20 gold. 20 gold? gold, +5 only costs 20 gold. Duskblade is stunned. Hidden classes are that cheap? He originally thought it would cost at least 100 gold. Heh, the first strike is 20 gold. I hope you brought enough money. This is your first time seeing a spear, and this weapon didn't come from you. And the enhancement price is absurdly high. 20 gold per strike. Duskblade's whole body trembles. Then trembling, he hands you the money. The previous enhancement experience is still vivid in his mind. If +1 already cost 20% gold, doesn't that mean? Clang. The first attempt succeeds without incident. 40% gold. You extend your hand with a calm expression, but to Duskblade, the person in front of him looks like a man-eating demon. Pay and strike. Second success. 80% gold, until the fourth time. 320 gold. Please wait a moment. Duskblade turns to ask Dawnlight for money. The hammer falls too quickly. He hasn't even prepared the money yet. Paying and continuing to strike. Clang. Enhancement. Fails. 320 gold. You extend your hand. Enhancement failed, but the weapon didn't shatter. But the money must be paid again. Just wait a bit more. Duskblade awkwardly turns around, asking Sincere Heart, Falcon, and others to continue pooling money. After pooling it, they carefully hand it to you, almost pleading, Master Mark, please be a bit more careful when you strike. This hammer costs over 300,000. What, 300,000? I don't understand what you're talking about. You look indifferent, striking down without even looking. At this moment, you've already made over 1 million from enhancing equipment. The Gale Lance's attack has reached 75 points, an attack power that makes even Duskblade envious. Alright, thank you, Master Mar. Before Duskblade can finish, he turns to see you standing beside Clear Sky. Really not enhancing anymore? You whisper softly in Clear Sky's ear, like a demon whispering. The next strike adds 18 points. After success, the attack will be 93. This weapon can last a lifetime. If you wait until the weapon evolves more to enhance it, it won't be this price. Duskblade's expression darkens. The next strike is worth 640,000. Seeing Clear Sky already wavering, Duskblade quickly grabs him and runs. Ah, what a shame. Just that close. You shake your head and return to the smithy. After several hours of careful consideration, you feel you still need to save money to buy a villa in the Silver Maple City suburbs. Quiet. In case something happens, it won't affect others. Before logging on, you checked. Some suburban villas are affordable. It's just that renovation plus ongoing villa maintenance will cost quite a bit. I still need to finish this dress. You bend down to pick up a black iron piece the size of a fingernail. Each black iron piece is an individual weapon, and in the past period, you've already crafted over 7,000 such weapons. After processing through aesthetics mastery, the originally pitch black iron pieces changed color. After gathering 10,000 pieces, you'll combine them piece by piece. This equipment already has a prototype in your mind, if all goes well. The finished product will be an elegant dress emanating soft radiance. Looking at character attributes again. Over 10 hours have passed since the last allocation. 6,771 attribute points. This is also a big project. The attribute points can only be added bit by bit. You decide to first add spirit to 1,001, bringing spirit energy to over 10,000. Strength and agility are both currently at 1,000 points, can hold off on those for now. And 1,000 agility is already affecting your daily life. Several times today you almost rushed out of the smithy without noticing. As for constitution, add it to 9,999 first. 10,000 points seems a bit risky. With a thought, the constitution points on the character panel surge crazily. A minute later, only 300 points added. Kind of boring, you yawn and turn to look outside the window. During the day when you're open, those scalpers look lifeless. Now that you're closed, the scalper's business picks up. Watching players outside haggling fiercely, you watch with great interest, your hand continuously clicking constitution points. But the next second, a sudden red flash appears before your eyes. Your smile instantly freezes. Warning, your attributes have reached the limit this region can withstand. Please check your character attributes and read the mail sent by the system. Warning, Constitution attribute value has exceeded the limit this region can withstand. Please cease your dangerous behavior. Warning, Emerald Valley starter village space is collapsing. Countdown 59 minutes 59 seconds. What's happening? You're stunned at the first warning, but when you look back, you just catch Constitution changing from 9,999 to 10,000. You hurriedly stop allocating, but it's already too late. Watching Constitution slowly change from 10,000 to 10,001. Your mouth hangs open, your entire body instantly petrified. I'm done for. I'm dead. You quickly open the system mail. The next second your expression changes. Dear player Mark Stone, we detected your values are about to reach the Emerald Valley area limit. For the stability of this region, please be sure to complete this item before continuing to allocate points. Taking a black cube from the mail and holding it in hand, cursed blade mold completion, 0 out of 100. You give me just this thing? At least give me instructions. Before the words finish, thousands of dewdrop steel shards on the ground simultaneously start moving. Your eyes widen. You immediately realize something's wrong, wanting to put away the mold, but it's too late. The dewdrops seem to have consciousness, shooting toward the cursed blade mold until the last dewdrop disappears into the mold. The completion only reaches 82,220. The wildly trembling mold finally quiets down. I can't take it. My heart hurts so much. These materials are all money. You put the mold on the ground, squatting in the corner with an injured expression, clutching your chest. Most infuriating is that this thing swallowed over 8,000 dewdrop shards, and the progress bar still isn't full. But why weren't the ones on the table absorbed? Coming to your senses, you look at the cyan cloth pieces on the table. Those are semi-finished products you forged earlier using over 1,700 dewdrop shards. Taking a longsword from storage, sure enough, the mold absorbs it without a word. Completion increases by another 10 points, since it's already come to this. Looking at the warning, countdown 58 minutes remaining. You raise your hand to look at yourself, discovering faint cracks appearing in the space around your arm. Will the starter village really